our guy right here, USF quarterback and RHP, baby. Bryce Archie on the program. B, what's going on, man? How are you?
Nothing much, Jay. Just we got done working out with football earlier this morning, and we're about to go do some community service with the Boys and Girls Club here coming up around 1:30. So, excited just to be back around the guys, around the football team, and get this show on the road.
Let me ask you a question. What was the rest like after baseball season? Because the story that Joey Johnston wrote for GoUSFBulls.com, somebody asked me about it, and I go, just read this article, and it showed your schedule. And I go, as soon as the season was over, I was pissed. Of course, I wanted to see you guys advance, but I was like,
Right.
well, at least Bryce can go on vacation and sleep. What was it like after baseball season was over? What did you do to kind of decompress?
I'm gonna be honest with you. There wasn't too much of a break.
You're
You know,
crazy. You're crazy.
I talked to Golesh maybe 2 weeks ago, like a week after the conference tournament. He gave me a few days off for the weekend, go home. I stayed here, but um, you know, got the chance to just take a breather real quick, and now I'm right back. The team needs me. The team needs me to be around. I'm a leader, so got to be around. I can't take too much of a break.
I hear that. Before we get into baseball, let's go back to the last football season. The ability for you to be able to go out there and to be able to win the bowl game, and just what was that season like for you guys? I mean, there were some ups, there were some downs, but man, just the fight, just to see where this team was able to grow in certain areas, and what was it like to be able to see the team kind of go through a rough patch to be able to come out on the other side and win a thrilling bowl game?
Oh, I think I
You
think
got
it
all right.
cut
I got
out.
you back.
Here,
No, you got
let
me
me.
back. I was just asking about
Oh, we're back. All right.
last year's season, yeah, and the
Yeah,
bowl
yeah, yeah.
game.
Yeah. Like you said, it was a lot of ups, a lot of downs. Obviously, that's not the way I wanted to play. Is someone to get hurt for the rest of the season, but it happens how it happens. God has a plan for everyone. So yeah, the season it was. I started out a little bit slow, trying to get my feet wet in college football. That was my first time actually controlling a team and the team being my team.
Mhm.
So it took a lot of learning. I would say that was really the whole season, just learning about college football. I would say it's a lot harder than people think it is. So just I learned a lot. And then as the season kept going, like towards the bowl game, I finally felt comfortable. Towards the end of the season, finally felt comfortable. That's when my decision making was a lot better, and then we ended the five overtime Hawaii Bowl, which was fun. So it was a lot of fun, but definitely a learning process for me.
What has it been like to have the support of Alex Golesh? Because I mean, I was there when you got the start against Florida State, and just to be able to see him, not just the support on the football field, but the support at your baseball games, and just what he's meant to you as a student there at South Florida.
It means the world. A lot of people don't know that me and Golish go way back from like my junior year of high school when he was at UCF. I was actually committed to go play football with him there. So he left and went to Tennessee, and that was kind of it for me and him. And then it was crazy how it all came back in a full circle. Coastal coaches left when I was at Coastal, hit the portal, and the first guy that called me was Alex Golesh. And he's always had my back, even the years I've been here, years I wasn't here. He's always had my back, and it's great just to see your head coach put that much support in you, and see him at the baseball games. Obviously, his little kid Bear, you always got to hear from him. He'll why'd you throw this pitch? Why'd you throw this pitch? It's great having that, and great having them to be around. So I can't thank him enough.
What was that communication like, Bryce, between Coach Golesh and Coach Hannahs? Making sure that, because I remember talking to Coach Hannahs early on in the season, and he was like, "Jay, I don't really know what to expect from Bryce, and going forward, we'll see because we obviously have a big plan going on." But man, especially you had some real early success there, and I know there was a bunch of people in the stands watching you against Florida State and how well you were throwing the baseball, and you were throwing heavy fastballs too, man. But you were dotting them, throwing 95. I was like, this guy's got an arm. It was an incredible experience just to watch. But what was that whole process like? how great was the communication between just the three of you guys, Coach Hannahs, Coach Golesh, and yourself?
Oh man, it was night and day from the first year I played both. So Coach Hannahs and Golesh actually had like a sit down conversation. They sat through every day, every hour of what my day looked like and what I was going to be doing for the football team or the baseball team. So I would say that right there alone took the first half of the season out, and I was able to really focus on baseball. I was lifting here and there for football. They would kind of monitor it, kind of mix in baseball lifts with football, and kind of I'm still getting the strength of football, but kind of keeping my body right for to pitch on the mound, like you said, against Florida State, which is obviously one of the top teams in the nation. So, just them having that conversation there, that really carried through the season, and we stuck to the schedule. And Mitch's whole thing was, I don't want you ready right now in the beginning of the season. I want you for postseason. I want you towards the end of the season to be healthy and still going through it. So, just knowing he had my back and the whole way through the season, both of them really, and those conversations that they had with each other, that it took a lot off my shoulders, and I was able to just go out and play free.
It's how nice is that though, man? Because it seems like they care about you as a human being, right? Like it's one thing to be like, all right,
Mhm.
you're a quarterback, but that kind of stuff, like I feel like you have to really, when you communicate with somebody to that level, to that extent, to care, to put that much effort in, it goes deeper than just caring about somebody as a student athlete. It's caring about as a person. Did you get that kind of feeling from both these guys?
Oh yeah, that's I from my point of view, that's kind of how both those guys are, Mitch and Golish. Like they're really in it for the players. They really don't care about, like the wins and losses obviously come with it, because I mean they're by far the best dudes that you'll ever meet. Like if they were on this show, you'd be like, wow, like that doesn't seem like it's a head coach. That's just
Mm-hmm.
one of my guys. So that's how cool they are. And then obviously them even letting me play both, that just showed me how much they care about me to let me explore my options in both baseball and football. So I mean those guys are great. I can't thank them enough. I wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for them.
Yeah, and you joined them because I've had Golesh and Coach Mitch Hannahs on the show before, so you're part of the USF conglomerate here on the Recher podcast. And what is it about Coach Hannahs? Because I was good friends with Coach Billy Mole as well, and I
Hmm.
was excited that Coach Hannahs came across, especially with the success that he had at Indiana State. And as me is back into coaching now again for the first time in 8 years after coaching before I got into radio.
Hmm.
There's certain things I look at when I'm looking at a baseball coach, and what means the most to him. And I just love his attention to detail. I love the old school approach. I love how he gives you guys the opportunity to kind of like, hey, man, this is the parameters. These are the rules. You guys follow them if you want to be good. But as a player, as an athlete on the team, what's the big difference with Coach Mitch Hannahs? Because listen, last year you guys weren't even postseason, didn't even make it to the postseason. This year you
Right.
finished third in a damn good American Athletic Conference. I mean, what would you say is the thing that Coach Mitch Hannahs brought to the table that really helped you guys really get the most out of this club this year?
Yeah, I would say the stuff you started off with. He's big attention to detail. He's big on these are my rules. Like one of my first team meetings, it was these are rules. This is how we're gonna do it. And if you step out of line, you're off the team. And that's kind of how it was. Like you gotta live up to that standard that he's setting every day. And in my opinion, he came to the field with a different mentality than anyone else could come to the field. We just swept, who was it, Tulane. He's like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why y'all are so happy. Like we need to treat this like we're on a 6 game losing streak.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of our whole motto the whole season.
Right.
Like we're not winning. We're on a 6 game losing streak. We gotta still go. Like we aren't anyone yet. So that took half of our season. Like the mindset we had through every game. I don't know what win streak we went on, but like we just had the same mindset of we're not anyone. We're on a losing streak. We gotta
Mm-hmm.
we gotta prove ourselves every game because we haven't done it yet. So I would say that's what Mitch brings to the table. Like his mindset to baseball, and the attention to detail to where you have to be at, and he's been in the game so long that he just knows, like, he'll be sitting in the dugout one time, look down, look up, and like, it's a bunt, and it's a bunt. Like, he's been around the game so long, like, it's just he already knows what's about to happen. So just having a coach like that, it really, prepares you.
Yeah, it's funny because one time I walked up to him to do my pregame interview, and he had like two different lineups in his hand. He's like, "I'm gonna do this one or this one," and he's like, "All right, we'll do this one." And then I go over, and it was after a loss, and I go, "Coach, what did you learn about yesterday's game?" And yesterday's game. He was like, "Absolutely nothing," and he was just joking around, but it was the funniest because he's got like a dry sense of humor too, which is really
Yeah,
funny. Not everybody gets to see it, which is really cool.
right.
And I said this when I was doing some of the broadcasts on ESPN Plus and for radio, and I want you to tell me if I'm right or just maybe some of the other attributes. I feel like what you have to be able to do as far as being mentally tough and to be patient in the pocket helped you get out of some of your jams on the mound. So certain guys when they get on the mound, first and second nobody out, and you can tell it's first and second nobody out. But for
Right.
you could have bases loaded, nobody out, and I'm like, Bryce looks like he's just sitting at the beach somewhere. Like it doesn't bother you. What attributes? First off, am I right in saying that? And if I am or I'm not, what are some of the attributes that you used from football to help you be successful on the mound?
Yeah, I would say, obviously playing football helped me get out of those situations because
Okay, good.
during football you're in 4th and 1, third
Right.
and 3 against Miami, and you got to try to throw a ball with a helmet in your chest.
Right. Yeah, you
Um,
don't have to do that. If you throw a ball on the field, it's not somebody's not coming up to you and trying to ram you in the chest with a helmet. So yeah.
Yeah, I would like those situations. I just be on the mound and be I'm okay. I have full control of this situation. I have the
Right.
ball. There's no one else like trying to hit me or not
Mhm.
like do anything to me that's gonna
Right.
affect how I throw this ball. So I just have to, take every pitch like it's a one pitch and then go on from there. Whatever happens after I throw the ball, I can't control that. So that mindset, I've always had that mindset. I want control of the game. I want the ball in my hand. So just having that mindset helped me get through a lot of situations that I was in.
What's the relationship like with Byron Brown and the rest of the quarterbacks in that room? I mean, we're so excited for football season coming up.
hmm Oh, the relationships are great. I've been with Byron for 3 years now. That's my neighbor. We live next to each other, so we have a great relationship. And like you said, it's an exciting season coming up. And we added Locke and we got Marcellus. So we actually added a new guy yesterday or 2 days ago from Canada or Australia, one of those international.
International
He's a
guy,
good, yeah, he's a
yeah.
good dude. But the quarterback room looks amazing. We can't wait to go.
What is the discussion like with some of the guys knowing? Because I know on the outside looking in, I mean, you look at those first three games, right? And it's
Mhm.
tall task, right? Knowing that you're playing, Boise State, Miami, Florida, and we know that those could be your three hardest games on the schedule. I mean, everyone's going to be tough. There's never really a gimme when it comes to college football. But what do you guys talk about when it comes to? Is there an extra level of excitement for those games? Like, what is the mindset going into? Because as much as you want to say, hey, you got to treat these games like every other game, but these are, you got to come right. There's no tiptoeing into this one against what I mean, like a lesser opponent, maybe at a lesser collegiate level. I mean,
Mhm.
where's the height, I guess, of urgency going into the season, knowing there's no rest for the weary? You got to play your best football in the beginning.
Yeah. Right now, what we're in is workouts, so you can definitely see the intensity has been to the highest level. We're doing stuff that in the past 2 years that I've been here we haven't been doing, and it's pushing our team. It's pushing everyone's mental to the next level. So when we step on the field against Boise, when we step against in Gainesville, when we go to Miami, like it's not the first time that we've been put in a situation where we got to fight through the hard. And that's kind of what we're doing right now is we're having a 4th and inches mentality, and we got to push through whatever's in task ahead of us. Like you said, it's obviously we're gonna keep saying it's just another game, like
Mhm.
it is. It's just another game. We can't treat it like it's the national championship. It's the first part of their season, and
Right.
these might be the most important games of our season. But if we get too stuck into that, we'll start playing like we haven't been there before, and we don't want to do that. We've
No
obviously
doubt.
been on the biggest stages, being at Alabama last year, sold out crowd. Like we've been in the biggest stages. We just gotta perform like we know how to, and not let it get to us.
Yeah, I took the drive to Tuscaloosa last year to be in the press box for that game. And I walked down to the field level in the fourth quarter and I go, holy smokes, man, this is incredible. Just a
Yeah.
fantastic atmosphere. And, while people say there's no silver linings and there's no, moral victories. And I was the person that asked that question to coach a couple of years ago about that. And he's like, no, we don't believe in that. And I go, yeah, I understand, coach. And I've asked him when he was on, I asked him when he came on here with me too. And I go, coach, I understand you don't, but there's also stuff that you can learn, right? You can learn, like,
Yeah.
once you go play at Tuscaloosa against Alabama, there's not really any other places that you go that are going to be like, wow, this is bigger than that, right? So I think
Hmm.
it does help. Do you ever get, because obviously you're playing basketball, I mean, excuse me, you're playing baseball, you're playing football. Do you ever get down the road of like thinking where your mind meant where you're going to be in 5 years? What's your goal, through the rest of your collegiate career? Do you think about after college?
Yeah, that's kind of the situation I'm actually in right now. In July we got an important day coming up, the MLB draft. So we'll see what happens with that. And yeah, that's my head is bouncing through both places right now, trying to figure out what that looks like, and also what that looks like for me coming up in the fall. So you know, that's kind of where I am right now.
So you're just kind of keeping it right. You're just kind of keeping it open, right? I mean, it's got to be tough because some people are gonna be like, we need a concrete answer here. It's just like, bro, I got a lot of stuff going on, right? I mean, you're trying to
Yeah,
keep your options open, I guess, for lack of a better term.
right now I'm just attacking it like I'm on the football team,
Right.
and that's what it is. I have no idea what's going to happen in July. So
Hmm.
I gotta keep the mindset like I'm on the football team. We got to go. That's kind of what it is right now.
Good for you, man. Good for you. I feel like you're handling that the right way, and I know you're going to get a lot of information. You get a lot of people. You should do this. You should do this. You should do this. And I
Yeah.
want to ask you before we go, because I know how important family is to you, and just their whole role in this entire process. Because Bryce, you're a unique guy, man. The ability to be able to play D1 quarterback and to be able to step on the rubber and to be able to throw 95. I have friends that are MLB scouts and they're just like, this kid got an arm. And I go, yeah, man, he's a heck of a quarterback too. Just talk about the role that your family has had in this because, there's a lot of college football players, there's a lot of college baseball
Mhm.
players, but there's not a lot of people that have been able to do both, you're a guy that was able to pitch against a top 10 team in the country and win a bowl game, within the same, within 6 months, which is pretty wild. What is the role? What can you say about your family and their support through this entire process?
Oh man, I can't thank them enough. That's been the whole bread and butter to this whole situation. And Father's Day was yesterday, so I do want to give a shout out to my dad, as he would say, the dadager, kind of managing everything that's going on. And I mean, without them, none of this would even be possible. For I mean, anything. I can't thank them enough, and I love them.
Shout out to the Dadager Broad, man. He's all over. He's all over social media, man. He's scouring the internet, man. He's all about it. And some people want to avoid it. Some people get away with it. And with me coaching high school, I'm coaching high school kids, 16, 17s, and seeing the parents and the kids. It's gonna get crazier. And I told them I was like, I'm gonna take
Mhm.
care of some stuff and help you guys go down that path because there's a lot of bad, but there's also a lot of good too. And I noticed that with your dad, like he focuses on a lot of good and promoting all the positive things. Not just about you and your brother, but just like everybody around, which is really good because people are
Mhm.
so centrally focused on their kids, but they forget that it's a team environment, right? And
Yeah.
and I know that, I mean, before we go, how great is it to be a part of USF? Two great programs, great coaches, and just I feel like every time I'm around South Florida on the campus, like everybody's working together. What is it like to be an athlete in that environment?
I mean, it's taking off right now. You can tell just being around the
Mhm.
facilities. They've actually taken our practice field is looking at the new stadium. So they've taken all of that out. And it's just like it's just dirt. So you can kind of see what it's going to look like, what the stadium's going to look like. So just being at USF right now, it's on the upcoming, it's on the rise, and it's going to places that people never really thought that it could go.
Can't wait to see what the next 5, 10, 15 years looks like.
Yes,
USF
sir.
quarterback and right-handed pitcher Bryce Archie. Bryce, so thankful for you joining us on the show today. Continued success, man. We will talk more over the next couple of months, but keep grinding, stay healthy. Tell the dadager I said hello, man. We'll talk again soon. Thank you again.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You got it.